questions about the 2021 threat assessment, and ASIO talked in there about right-wing groups were able to use COVID-19 restrictions as propaganda to further embed anti-government sentiment by portraying the government as overreaching. And it also makes some comments about the use of globalisation, multiculturalism and democracy as being a flawed concept, and statements to that effect. Does ASIO take the position that, for example, those that believe that there are flaws in globalisation and multiculturalism are right-wing extremists?
Senator, we use the terminology ideologically motivated violent extremism. There are some people with an ideology such as neo-Nazis you could put in the right wing, and I'm okay with that. We try and stay out of the political assignment. We focus on the individuals and beliefs that go to violence, which is our principal concern. So we don't normally say, well, that must be right wing, because it's not, in terms of there's a vast range of grievances that or conspiracy theories or beliefs in not in favour of authority that drive people to have those views, and we pay concern to those people who then go to violence in support of those views.
So is the concept of an anti-government sentiment in itself an extremist position in ASIO's?
It can be extreme. There are many things which can be extreme. I could be an extreme football supporter, a passionate and extreme supporter. Our focus is where we go to, where we look at people who are extreme in views and think violence is the answer.
So in the case of people that, for example, were protesting 6-month lockdowns under the Andrews government and did so passionately, was ASIO, were those people flagged as, broadly as extremist groups?
No. So we were watching, obviously, that, because we're looking for signs of violent extremism, so where you'd have politically motivated violence. And whilst we saw violent rhetoric and in some cases some violence in protest, there was no active planning of violence extremism, and there were no acts of terrorism identified during lockdown protests.
Historically, a lot of assertions about right-wing extremism. I know you've used different language now. What is the reason that we never hear about left-wing groups? I mean, whenever I'm out on the street, all I see is Extinction Rebellion and gluing themselves to stuff.
So I definitely think the majority of stuff we hear about is nationalist socialist or neo-Nazis. That is the predominant threat that we've seen rise here in Australia. We have other individuals across the spectrum, if I should call it that, but they are much lower in terms of prevalence, and certainly not currently appearing in those groups that we have concerns that they think violence is the answer, or have the potential to attract people that go to violence at this stage.
What assurances can you give there that ASIO is not specifically targeting or monitoring people who simply have differing views to their government of the day?
People are entitled to their political views. We don't investigate people for their political views, but we will investigate them if it looks like they believe that violence is the answer.
Reports from the United States that Facebook and the FBI have been collaborating with Facebook employees reporting users who posted anti-government or anti-authority sentiments, and then the FBI acquiring data on those individuals. Does ASIO work with social media companies in a similar fashion to spy on Australians who might have anti-government views?
Well, again, we would be focusing on individuals that actually think violence is the answer, and where we work with social media companies or companies that provide data, we would do that lawfully under law by legal mechanisms available to us.
Yep. Thank you.